tell you from my point of view, follow your heart. Because if you work where your heart is, you're going to give it 100%. And if your heart's not into what you do, you'll never be in. You'll never be in. You'll never be in.
His name still echoes through arenas around the world, a name that inspired millions, a name that became larger than life. But behind the smile, behind the charisma, and behind the chants was a man fighting a battle few could see. This is the story of redemption. This is the story of Latino Heat. This is the story of Eddie Guerrero. Born October 9, 1967, from El Paso, Texas, Eduardo Guerrero was the youngest son of lucha libre legend Gory Guerrero. Eddie ran wild in his father's backyard ring by the age of 5, and it was only a matter of time before he followed in his father's footsteps. In 1986, Eddie made his professional in-ring debut for Mexico's EMLL, now known as CMLL. He then joined Mexican promotion AAA as Mascara Magica. He shocked crowds by unmasking himself live on AAA TV, then built an infamous villain team, Los Gringos Locos, with him and Love Machine Art Barr. During this time, he was also wrestling in Japan for New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he was known as the second incarnation of Black Tiger 2, even winning the Best of Super Juniors competition in 1996, becoming the first American to win the tournament. On his way to winning the competition, he would beat Wild Pegasus, or more commonly known as Chris Benoit. NJPW was where Eddie and Chris wrestled for the first time. In 1995, Paul Heyman brought Eddie to Extreme Championship Wrestling. In his debut for ECW on April 8, 1995, Eddie Guerrero won the ECW TV title by defeating Too Cold Scorpio. A week later, Eddie defended the title against Dean Malenko, and those two put on a show. In fact, the contest went the full 30-minute time limit. By mid-95, Eddie and pals Benoit, Malenko, and Saturn jumped to WCW. Here, Eddie found gold by defeating Diamond Dallas Page to win the United States Championship. Eddie also held the WCW Cruiserweight Championship title twice. In an era where larger-than-life heavyweights dominated the spotlight, Eddie proved that you didn't need to be 6 feet tall to steal the show. And it was Eddie's rivalry with Rey Mysterio that would leave a mark on wrestling history. The two produced a series of incredible matches that wowed audiences. Their encounter at Halloween Havoc 1997 is still considered one of the greatest matches in WCW history. Their match carried enormous stakes. Eddie's Cruiserweight Championship was on the line, but so was something even more important to Rey Mysterio: his mask. The match blended high-flying lucha libre style with great storytelling. In 1998, he formed the Latino World Order, a group inspired by the hugely popular New World Order. But despite all this success, this was only the beginning. In January 31, 2000, Eddie made his on-screen WWF debut in an episode of Raw is War alongside Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, and Perry Saturn. They formed the faction known as the Radicals. On the following SmackDown, Guerrero and Saturn teamed up to face the New Age Outlaws, a team of Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. During the match, Eddie delivered his trademark frog splash, but landed awkwardly and dislocated his elbow. A couple months after this, during his European Championship match against Chris Jericho, Chyna turned on Jericho to help Guerrero win and declared that she could not resist his Latino heat.
I really couldn't resist your Latino heat. I told you! She admitted it! I knew it!
And just like that, Latino Heat was born. With his natural charisma and razor-sharp humor and unforgettable catchphrase, Eddie created one of wrestling's most entertaining and beloved characters. The brilliance of this gimmick was that the fans knew Eddie was bending the rules at every opportunity, and they loved him for it. Seeing Eddie cruise to the ring in a bouncing lowrider remains one of the coolest entrances in wrestling history. But behind all the swagger was a man wrestling more than opponents. Substance abuse and personal demons stalked him. By 2001, Eddie was released following a DUI arrest and ongoing struggles with addiction. Determined to rebuild both his career and his life, Guerrero returned to the independent wrestling scene, making appearances for the IWA in Puerto Rico, Ring of Honor, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Eddie rebuilt himself on the Indies and earned a second chance. Then, on Monday Night Raw, April 1, 2002, Eddie returned, setting the stage for one of the greatest comebacks in professional wrestling.
We keep on moving. We keep on moving along. We keep on rolling.
Upon returning, Eddie teamed up with his nephew, Chavo Guerrero, to form the Los Guerreros tag team. The uncle-nephew tandem lied, cheated, and stole their way to championship glory. Their biggest achievement came at Survivor Series 2002, where they defeated the team of Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, as well as the team of Edge and Rey Mysterio in a triple threat elimination match to win the WWE Tag Team Championship. After the Los Guerreros team split in late 2003, Eddie transitioned into a highly successful singles competitor, setting his sights on something even bigger, the WWE Championship. Standing in his way, Brock Lesnar. At the time, Brock was arguably the most dominant force in all of professional wrestling. A former NCAA wrestling champion with unbelievable speed, strength, and athleticism, Lesnar had bulldozed nearly every major name placed in front of him. The list included The Big Show, John Cena, The Undertaker, Chris Benoit, and countless others. Brock wasn't just champion, he looked completely unbeatable. He was bigger, stronger, younger, and just physically more superior than Eddie. Eddie wasn't supposed to have a chance, but the story became quickly more than just size and strength. In the weeks leading up to their championship match at No Way Out, Eddie delivered one of the more powerful promos of his career, his Do or Die promo. Rather than just trash talk, Eddie opened up about his life. He spoke honestly about his battles with addiction. He talked about losing everything from his job, his family, even losing himself in the process.
The truth is, Brock, I am an addict.
He also talked about fighting his way back. And for the first time, fans weren't just cheering for the Latino Heat character. They were cheering for the man behind the character, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero had become something rare in professional wrestling, a genuinely relatable hero. This was one of the most emotionally compelling championship feuds in WWE history. By the time No Way Out arrived on Feb 15, 2004, the crowd desperately wanted to see Eddie achieve the impossible. But wanting something and believing it could happen were two very different things. After all, Brock Lesnar was still Brock Lesnar. Lesnar dominated with his power, throwing Eddie around the ring, reminding everyone why he had ruled SmackDown for years. However, time and time again, Eddie refused to stay down. Every comeback was met with louder cheers from the audience. Every near fall increased the tension. The fans could sense they were witnessing something special. Late in the match, Brock grabbed his belt to use as a weapon. However, interference from Goldberg, who had his own issues with Lesnar, created an opening. Eddie capitalized. He connected with a DDT onto the championship belt before climbing to the top rope. One frog splash, 1, 2, 3. Eddie had done it. Against all odds, Eddie defeated Brock Lesnar to become the WWE champion for the very first time. The arena erupted. This wasn't just a title victory. This was redemption. This was proof that a man who had once lost everything could fight his way back to the top. A month after winning the WWE title, Eddie successfully defended his championship against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20. The closing image of the event famously featured Guerrero celebrating his championship alongside his real-life friend and newly crowned World Heavyweight Champion, Chris Benoit. On June 27, 2004, Eddie dropped the WWE Championship to John Bradshaw Layfield at the Great American Bash. Despite this, he remained a prominent main event star on the SmackDown brand, later teaming with longtime friend Rey Mysterio to defeat the Basham Brothers at No Way Out 2005 to win the WWE Tag Team Championship. However, Eddie would soon turn on his best friend after they dropped the tag titles, leading into a heated and heartbreaking feud. Fans were glued though when Eddie claimed he was Dominic Mysterio's biological father. This culminated in a ladder match at SummerSlam for the custody of Dominic Mysterio. November 11, 2005 was Eddie's final televised match on SmackDown, defeating Mr. Kennedy to qualify for the SmackDown Survivor Series team. Then, November 13, 2005, in Minneapolis, Eddie's life was cut tragically short due to acute heart failure. He was found unresponsive in his hotel room by his nephew, Chavo Guerrero, hours before he was scheduled to challenge Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. Eddie was only 38. The wrestling world paused. Vince McMahon went on TV visibly shaken. Raw and SmackDown became tribute shows overnight. Chris Benoit, a close friend, like many, was left shattered in tears. Tributes poured from fans and wrestlers alike. To this day, wrestlers across the industry continue to pay tribute to Guerrero by using his three amigos suplexes and frog splash. In 2006, he was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. Whether he was bending the rules, outsmarting opponents, or flashing that trademark grin after getting away with something he definitely shouldn't have, Eddie was one of the most entertaining characters WWE ever had. He showed that the true championship is inner strength, fighting for family, pride, and respect. Eddie may have left us, but Latino Heat burns in everyone he inspired. Thanks for watching.
Like I'm gonna forget.
What's up, Smarks? Happy 1st of July to those in the US. Welcome to Saturday Smark Talk podcast show, where every first Saturday of the month we go over. And in this episode, if you haven't already figured out, we are going over talking about Eddie Guerrero on this episode of number 5-star Frog Splash. But previously on SST, we went through WrestleMania 42 and the post-releases, call-ups, as well as the El Grande Americano feud. Now, I did drop that video that you just saw on our Facebook and YouTube, so if you want to go check that out again, feel free to do so and share it. We're going to be doing more. The next one will be up next by the end of this month. And yeah, there's more videos to come, so if you want to check out that or previous episode, head on over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. If you've been enjoying our conversations, please follow us on any of your social media platform by searching Saturday Smark Talk. And don't forget, we have our new anime podcast, our Takonauts, which is every third Saturday of the month, along with the Timeless Gamers show, which is every other Saturday of the month. So to everyone watching live or tuning in via the podcast, thanks for joining us and thanks for listening wherever you are. We appreciate you spending the time with us. We've got a great episode lined up for you today. Like I said earlier, we're talking about Eddie, but we'll also be talking and recapping the Night of Champions and other latest news. I'm your host, Sir Abi, but let me introduce to you the rest of the SST faction. First up, he is one of my three amigos. Give it up for Sir Juan.
Hey, man, is that below me? Is that Paul Heyman?
Yes.
Hey, Paul. Paul. It's me, your buddy, man. It's your buddy. Are we doing intros? Are we?
Yes. But no, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was a good intro. This man, next up, this man will lie, cheat, and steal your hearts. Give it up for the one, the only Sir Marky Mark.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Saturday Smark Talk. I'm Marky Mark. Today we're going to talk about
Where's
the one
funky
and
button?
only Eddie Guerrero. Pero ba ang mic? Wala ba? Pero pala. Also, yeah. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Also, if you have comments, please comment down below. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. And last but not least, here's your pappy. Put your hands together for Sojo.
He's not Joe Poppy.
What up,
That's
peeps?
Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, I'm telling you.
All right. Happy 4th of July to some of you guys there. It's the first Saturday of the month. Okay, so that means Saturday Smark Talk. We are getting over. Okay, and for this special episode, we are paying homage or paying tribute to the savior of the bodega, Latino Heat himself,
Oh.
El Dandy. Oh, I'm sorry. Not that Latino Heat. You mean the other Latino Heat, which is, hey, Eddie Guerrero. So it's been like what, 25 years plus since since we learned about his passing. So and we could have, hey guys, I mean we could have be talking about every other stuff out there that's happening in the world right now, but we chose to do this tribute episode instead. So if you have any wildest or happiest or any fondest memories of Eddie Guerrero, just jot it down there in the chat. Join us as we discuss the life and career of Eddie G himself. Back to you, Sir RV.
Thank you, Sergio. And yes, like you said, please let us know, just like Jimmy Beth in the comments said, please let us know your favorite Eddie Guerrero moment. So I'm sure we'll be talking about it. But before we do, we'll start off by recapping the Night of Champions. For those of you that was, I think last week, I believe, but keep in mind that the results of the Night of Champion are set to affect SummerSlam, which is in Minneapolis, Minnesota, on Saturday, the 1st of August. And second, it's actually the first two-night SummerSlam. I'll just go ahead and let the winner. So we had Obafemi defeating Jey Uso to win the King of the Ring. Io Sky defeating Liv Morgan to win the Queen of the Ring. Seth Rollins defeating Bron Breakker in a steel cage match. Trick Williams defeated Ricky Saints to retain the WWE United States Championship. Tiffany Stratton defeated Jade Cargill to retain the Women's United States Champion. And yes, after a decade in the WWE, Sami Zayn is finally the undisputed champion. Zayn pinned Cody Rhodes in front of an electric Riyadh, Saudi Arabia crowd to win the triple threat over Rhodes and Gunther. I guess just quickly, I know you, Sir One, you love this. This was long time coming, I think. You think? Long time coming for Sami Zayn.
Oh, we're not talking about anime? This isn't a Taco Nut?
No, that's next week. You're on the wrong show.
Not kidding. No, honestly, like I said it before, like, dude, like it's honestly like I'm excited to see Sammy as a champ. Well overdue, like you said, you know, it's been over a decade. Like I think damn nearly 2, getting close to it. Just yeah, dude, like literally hopefully it's not short-lived. You know, give him a decent title reign.
Yeah, I agree. Give him a decent run.
You know,
how
like,
about,
oh, we're gonna do 2 weeks and you're gonna lose. What the fuck kind of shit is that?
I mean, he could potentially lose. I don't know what the.
We need to ask
lineup.
Paul Heyman that, because Paul Heyman is part of the story creativity
the
here.
vision. I mean, so Joe, are you surprised? Were you surprised to hear that? I guess Sami Zayn had won at the Night of Champions, and do you think he will still be the champion at SummerSlam and even maybe to the end of this year?
When I heard the news about Zami winning, I'm like, oh shit, it finally happened.
I think a lot of people.
So I mean, so I saw the 3-minute clip that WWE put out, and sure, I mean, triple threat, him, Cody, and Gunther, right? And I would have, I mean, I like the outcome of it, rather than Cody losing the title by Sami pinning or submitting Gunther. You know, I think it gave a little bit more uh, confidence or a little bit more uh, credibility to his victory because he pinned the champion. Actually, I mean, say what you will about the in-ring shenanigans, but hey, he did manage to pin the champion. And yeah,
Honestly, though, dude, the match though, honestly, like we just said,
yeah.
dude, the match was actually well put together.
Hmm.
Like literally,
and I'm not sure. I mean, and I just wanted to see what was uh the knee jerk reaction from most of the commenters, and they're kind of split. Some are happy about him winning, and some were like, he's like, oh, he's just gonna be a transitional champion eventually until Opa wins his championship. And I'm like, dude, I mean, dude, if you're, I mean, don't do that. I mean, maybe give him another pay-per-view defense or another month or so before you take that away from Zammy. You know what I mean? I think he is well due for a championship. And not to mention, there are I read some of the comments saying that he looks like a bum, he looks like a hobo, like a homeless dude because of what he looks like. He does,
but this has
you
been
know what I mean?
Sammy
Like,
for a while though.
I mean,
Even when the crowd was behind
I
him,
mean,
same look.
I mean, guys, I mean, if that is if that is our argument here, then what the hell was Daniel Bryan, right? I mean, yeah, sure, he's not physically imposing like Brock or Oba, sure, but gone were the days where we have our champions who look like muscle bound guys who can lift anyone, sure, but it's not just about that. I mean, there are other factors. Why would the company put the belt on you nowadays? I mean, just for the last like what 10 years, I guess. Like if you're that over with the crowd, if you're selling a lot of merch, you're a good worker. You're good with the stick, the mic, right? I mean, all of those factors are tantamount to you being, being given that push to become the champion. And I'm happy for Zami. Really, I'm not sure if Kevin Owens will come into play here sooner or later. We have seen some footages where Kevin Owens made a surprise appearance.
I saw that.
With along with Becky Lynch, trying to congratulate Sami Zayn on his title victory. So yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not as passionate watcher of WWE for the longest time now, but even I can recognize, you know what, Sammy, hey,
Well deserved.
well deserved. I mean, despite the limitations that the company is putting on you in terms of your move list or the things that you can do in ring, you know what? Hopefully, it stays longer on you. Okay, be a fighting champion. Hopefully, okay, have some one or two title defenses here and there before you drop it to someone else. Hopefully,
Agreed. Yeah.
hopefully not too soon.
And
There might be
when he was United States Championship, he did bring back the Open Challenge, if you remember. And then again, I think I'm part of the crowd that I'm very happy. He's well deserved. I think it would have been interesting to see Jay Uso win the King of the Ring. Then he could potentially challenge Sammy, because of course he's not going to challenge his OTC. They did hint that he could, if you remember on SmackDown, that Sammy said, if you win the King of the Ring, you'll be facing me. And even though this is at the time when Cody was still champion, but no, Obafemi won the King of the Ring. He's gonna face Brock Lesnar, I believe, at SummerSlam, which we kind of predicted. So, Marky Mark, are you? What do you think of all of this happenings? Are you happy? Are you also happy that Obafemi won, perhaps, and he's going to face Brock Lesnar?
Here we go again with Brock Lesnar. Ano? Yeah,
Don't
all
hate
I
on
can
the
say,
beats, man. Adapt to it. Adapt. He's your
Adapt.
favorite wrestler.
Here's your
You're the
all I
baby
can,
beast. You're the baby beast.
all I can say with WWE right now is just give the deserving wrestlers their good break. Okay, just like what is happening from Sammy and maybe to Chad Gable as well. As for Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, just do their King Kong and Godzilla thing in the ring. That's it.
Well, I mean, with that though, this should be their last match.
Yes,
So
it
they're
should
they're,
be.
they're out of 3. Well, because now they sit at 1-1 on the victory.
One-on-one. Yeah.
Oh,
So this is the third match. So this will kind of kill that.
Mm.
But I mean, to your point though, RV, like the way the outcome of Night of Champions, like honestly, I think it set it up more because now Jey Uso is going to be in the picture, and they go back, when Stammy was a part of the Bloodline, and their friendship. So like, I honestly feel that Sammy will probably give Jay a shot before Cody gets his rematch, unless do what they can do, creativity. Paul Heyman is listening. He's right here with us. Double header, literally give Sammy a double header, like literally defend on both nights. That'd be fucking dope as fuck. He can go against Jay and he can give Cody his rematch. Whoever has it on the second day will have more of an advantage because Cody's not gonna be, or Sammy's not gonna be 100%.
How about this? So he retains, and then
Both days.
come up until Crown Jewel, he could face Roman Reigns. Is that interesting for you enough? A storyline, perhaps.
That'd be a good one, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, there could be many possibilities, and like I said, I mean, I know Gunther's not going to stop either. So, like, Gunther's still going to be. I mean, he watching the little extra scenes and shit. Like after the pay-per-view, he was fucking livid.
Now we'll have to wait and see. So the next SST is actually Saturday, the 1st of August. We'll kind of do a, I guess, SummerSlam preview because it's on 2 nights, and SummerSlam will be on the 1st and 2nd of August, like I mentioned earlier. So we'll kind of do a preview. Yeah, 2 nights. First 2-night SummerSlam. They want to do that to the kind of main pay-per-views. They've already done it, obviously, to WrestleMania. Again, it's all about the money.
Well, they do SummerSlam. They always do house shows. They always do a house show tour for SummerSlam. So
nice.
That's what I was trying to explain to my son because I told him I got him tickets to go, and he's like, "What is that? What is that?" So I told him it's stuff that's not televised, so it's still part of SummerSlam and everything builds up. It's not a main promotion like SmackDown and Raw and NXT.
And you've been one to before, so are they more fun? You'd say I've only been to a few. I think
I mean, it's just like going to just like a normal, SmackDown or Raw. Like, I mean, it's still hyped up. They still do. Their matches are amazing. They're just as good. It's just you don't get to see it, so all you see is like highlights. Oh, for this match here, you're like, when was this?
No, it's cool. Well, like I said, we'll be talking more about that in the next SST, Saturday, the 1st of August. But let's move on to the main topic of our discussion, which is Eddie Guerrero and the tribute. You saw the video. Firstly, what did you guys think? So, Mark, your thoughts on the video?
That's how I was looking, just like that.
It actually made me emotional, as always. If you will talk about Eddie Guerrero, I'm one of those people who gets emotional because Eddie was, let's say, growing up, he's one of those wrestlers that I really watched from RPN 9 before. So also it's big news for me before that he passed away that sudden. So I mean, he's one of those wrestlers that I really look up to before.
So was there any part of the video that you kind of found interesting that maybe you didn't know, perhaps, about learning when watching the video?
I mean, I mean, like literally, I mean, everything you talked about, like I said, it was just more so watching it, like just this time and reliving
And
it. Like,
remembering.
it's like, man, like, remember watching Eddie, remember watching this match right here for Halloween Havoc. Like, that's one of my favorite matches, like, out of Eddie's career. Um, no, but it, like, what Mark was saying, it brought in a little emotional state on because it's like, going back and living, like, you know, watching these wrestlers, wrestle, as you're growing up, I'm saying, you tend to, kind of feel like a part that, you guys are family. So like, especially tragic moments like this, passing for somebody who had much potential and, still had a lot to show, was gone too soon. But
Definitely.
yeah, it's literally, it was a tearjerker. I'll tell you that. But I will
Well,
say this, Mark, I'm giving you a new nickname. All right. I'm going to start calling you Filipino Heat. Ha!
What?
you know,
Yes,
Uh,
that's your new
that's
nickname.
fabulous.
PH, man, PH. All right. No,
Filipino,
well,
what?
but I mean, your video though, RV dude, was, as always, the stuff that you do, man, was amazing, dude. Like literally, like
thank you.
it touched, very touching.
Can I just say, fun fact? I'm not sure if you know this about that match, Sir One, the one we're watching on the screen now,
Yeah.
the one Halloween Havoc. I think it was 1997. Ray versus Eddie. It was the title versus mask match, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you knew, but Eddie was actually originally scheduled to win that match. The initial plan was for Rey Mysterio to lose and take off his mask, which would have forced him to obviously reveal his mask. However, Mysterio strongly opposed to losing that match and his mask. So Eddie, being the friend that he is, understanding the cultural and personal significance of the mask, advocated directly to management on Mysterio's behalf to change the planned finish. Management ultimately agreed, allowing Mysterio to win and also retain his mask. So there you go. I'm not sure if you knew. Sadly, though, Ray did eventually lose it to, I think, Kevin Nash. I think it was maybe like a month later from that match. I'm not sure what Eric Bischoff's kind of thinking behind losing the mask was, because when you think about in hindsight, when he went to WWE, because he did wrestle without the mask in WCW for a brief period, and then when he jumped to WWE, he put back on the mask, and then I guess when Vince thought about it, he could sell that as merchandise, and they sold millions of those masks to little kids. So again, in hindsight, he still stands by that decision. But yeah, just an interesting fact. I'm not sure if you guys knew that about that match. So Joe, did you know that he was actually supposed to lose that match?
Oh yeah. So Eddie went straight to Bischoff, saying that the things that you said, it's more about the cultural implications of that mask, and this is like what during the earlier years of Rey Mysterio in WCW. So, and knowing Eric Bishop, and then this is Eric Bishop's most likely his mindset at that time during the mid 90s, because Eric was trying to establish a like a live show where anything can happen in WCW. He's doing it for shock value. Like,
Yes.
okay, a luchador losing his mask in live television. Uh, Understand the implication of it. Yeah, most likely it's just for the shock value of it, because, like you said, eventually he did lose the mask, and it's like maybe it's just this is was Eric Bishop's way. Okay, like he really wanted to lose. He really wanted for Ray to lose the mask sooner or later. Eventually, he did got what he wanted. Without I mean, without the safe guardrails of somebody else fighting over. I mean, fighting on behalf of Ray at the time of the late '90s before WCW closed its doors. Like, I mean, who were left? I mean, at the time, you only got Billy Kidman, um, Juventud Guerrera, you got Psychosis, and
Old
La
school OG.
Parca, and it's just them
Proven-
during the late '90s in WCW. They're just doing a round robin between all of them.
Pretty much,
In
yeah.
terms of in terms of in terms of the cruiserweight division. I mean, it's just them that you see fighting over each other for screen time. And at this time, if you guys watch the video, Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero already jumped ship to WWF.
WCW. Yes, WWF. Yeah.
This was like what late 1999 or early 2000s when this happened. 2000s, yeah, 2000s.
Yes.
So yeah, so all of those people that Ray could have fall back on already left. So yeah, he lost the mask eventually, and then the Russo era came in, and we're not gonna talk more about that. But again, eventually, Ray lost the mask eventually, but he did manage
that happened again
to get it back.
They had another crazy battle. Like they fought it out. Like literally, it was gory and bloody. Rey Mysterio lost his mask to Eddie. Like Eddie snapped. It was when Eddie was turning heel. You guys don't remember that one? Like he literally beat the brakes off of Ray. Like Ray was busted open. Ray's mask.
Was this in WCW?
No, it was WWE.
Oh, WWE. Okay,
WWE.
gotcha.
So like
that's why we didn't remember, because we know we're talking about WCW.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this was like their feud in the 2000s, dude. Like literally, I mean, I can share the video, if I can find it. But yeah, dude, like literally, I remember this one, dude. Like literally, it was fucking bloody as hell. Fucking dude, just Rey Mysterio just got his ass handed to him. Like Eddie it's like he snapped. I'll find the video and I'll share it.
It's surprising Rey Mysterio was able to do a blade job underneath the mask, but he was able to do it.
Oh man, no.
Let me see.
He was able to do it. And
I remember watching. So there's a video of Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio and Michael Cole, so the announcer for I think it's SmackDown or Raw. They kind of do a reaction video before reaction videos were kind of popular. You know what I mean? So they sat down and they watched that 1997 Halloween Havoc match, and I remember Michael Cole asking Eddie. That hairstyle, that iconic kind of mullet hairstyle.
The mullet?
The mullet.
I used to have it when I was a kid, man.
It was very popular.
Like, formal at the front, party at the back.
Party at the back.
Party
That's
at the
the
back.
one. It was such
Formal
a
at
cool
the front, party at the back.
And Michael Cole asked him, it's like, oh, do you miss that hairstyle, Eddie? And Eddie was like, yeah, I do, but it was so hard to maintain. And I can kind of see that. It was just such a cool hairstyle when he did it. You can see now when this is the WWE, so he had a shorter hair here in WWE. And I just want to shout out to Sir One. Sir One said WCW 1997 Fall Brawl versus Chris Jericho. That's one of his best WCW matches. I do remember that. It was a very good match that he had.
I didn't say that. I'm joking. No, I'm gonna make a joke.
The other one. That's
joke.
the other one down there.
The other one.
Hi, Sir JDM.
Hi, Sir JDM. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, so following, like you said, Sir Joe, his WWF before it became WWE was in Jan 31, 2000. That's when he made his official on-screen WWF debut. In episode of Roy's War, alongside, like I said, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, and Perry Saturn, they were actually sitting in the crowd, and they were known as the Radicals. And then I think it was Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, they got in altercation with them. The following week, that's when they made their official in-ring debut. And I'm not sure.
I think I remember that. I think it was the New Age Outlaws versus
New Age, yes.
Versus Head Cheese, Al Snow and Steve Blackman.
Yes.
So the four of them were just sitting ringside, and then Al Snow saw them and went straight to them, saying highs and hellos, because Al Snow knew all of these guys from way back, and they're just sitting there. And then during the middle of the match, I think it was Road Dog.
Yes, it was Road Dogg. Yeah.
Look at, I mean, just suddenly wailed at them, and then, well, that's our cue. Started fighting back against the New Age Outlaws.
It was
Didn't
such
take
a
much.
crazy. It was such a crazy time because during those times, it was kind of still believable, if you know what I mean. So Joe was kind of like, you kind of
Oh no, funny you should mention that because at this time of WCW, I only watched WCW during the last years of it, like 99 2000 before it closed its doors, and I really didn't know much about Saturn, Malenko, Benoit, and Guerrero. To be honest, the only reason why I knew them a lot more is because when I played WCW NWO Thunder on the PlayStation 1. That's how I knew them. Okay. Most of the time, it's just the NWO storyline back in WCW, and then when Vince Russo came in, a lot of the storylines has got changed, and at that time they were already gone. So
Yes.
roll in Raw is War. I was surprised they were there. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, a lot of people
and
from
yeah,
WCW jumped
and-
ship.
yeah, and remember, WCW was still on air during this time, so I mean, in my mind, I mean that was mind blowing to me, because what are the WCW guys doing here? Because yeah, I mean in WCW nobody mentioned or referenced them leaving, them being
No.
fired. I mean, out of their contracts, and then seeing them. I mean, let's just say you didn't read any of the dirt sheets. Let's say you're still marking out. You didn't know. You believe everything is real. Damn it, it's still real to you. Damn it. You see them for the first. You see them in Royce War. I'm like, shit. Okay, so it was pretty exciting to at the time to see them.
Is
I mean-
that
I mean,
like you said? It's
yeah.
very exciting because remember, guys, you have to remember this was before social media and when people had
Before
cameras on
social
their
media.
phones, stuff like that. Maybe I'll ask Mark. Do you think this new age of kind of the social media kind of ruins that kind of aspect? Do you find that?
Takes away the
Well,
surprise.
Yeah, the surprise. I mean, yeah, take away the surprise. It's like back then. You would genuinely, you couldn't tell if this, is this actually just a random person in the crowd just, hitting somebody?
actually, it's paano ba? Well, like you've said before, we don't have the social media, we don't have any news for some of these matches taking on. So yeah, we don't have a clue what will happen or what. So we're only going to watch the match and we're going to get surprised by what is happening already. So yeah.
Definitely. And just to go track back to that match. So they debuted Jan 31st, 2000 at the Radicals. Remember, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Perry Saturn, and Eddie. And then the following week, they had their first in-ring match. And in that match, they were supposed to win against the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. However, if you go back and watch that match, I actually mentioned in the video he dislocated his elbow, and so they had to change the finish. And then Billy Gunn and Road Dogg ended up winning that match. So there's another kind of fact about that. You can see videos when he lands, he's actually holding his elbow, and then afterwards the kind of refs are kind of taking him out. So
You know what?
he was kind of
That was so weird. I mean, that was so weird to me. I mean, maybe just let the ref count 3. You'll still win the match and still say you're
true.
injured.
True.
Looking back at the video, he could have still. Eddie still lingered there for quite a while
They did.
before he got medical attention. So in my mind, what's the point of telling Billy Gunn to roll over and pin you? You can just stay there, let the ref count 1, 2, 3, and then you say, "Oh, I'm injured."
Mm.
Know what I mean?
Yes. No. If, like I said, if you go back and watch the match, he lands awkwardly. He grabs his elbow. and then they're still kind of fighting in the background for like at least 2-3 minutes until they
Yeah.
realize, oh crap, he's actually injured. The ref puts up the sign, the finish changes. But like, yeah, I agree with you, Sergio. They still could have had Eddie and Perry Saturn win that match. I'm not sure. Maybe there was the storyline involved. Again, this is all the technical stuff that we're not privy to behind the scenes.
I mean, if Eddie Guerrero if Eddie didn't get the pin, just let Perry do the Ring of Saturn on Road Dogg or Billy Gunn and have them win the match. I mean, they still win, even if Eddie is injured. At riding in pain at the back or somewhere in ringside, they could still win the match. I don't know.
No.
Maybe it was part of us. Maybe there's going to be like a storyline down the road, and I don't know.
I think it was maybe partly due there was maybe a storyline that we just didn't know about. But yes, he got injured. He was out for some time, and then he came back and challenged.
3 months, I think. Yeah,
3 months.
I mean,
and then he came back, challenged Chris Jericho for the championship
in the Intercontinental, I think.
Intercontinental Championship. And if you remember, that's when China betrayed Jericho. And then the following week on Raw, Eddie asked her, "Why did you do what you did?" And then she famously said, "I could not resist your Latino Heat." So that's when
Latino Heat was born, Mr. Paul Heyman. I know you remember.
We're not gonna reference that the birth of Mamacita as well.
Mamacita, yes.
Mamacita.
What a storyline that was. What was that one of the best storylines, the Mamacita one for you? In
Honestly, yeah, dude, it was because it was it was comedy. Like, dude, it was nonstop laughing your ass off, dude. Like,
hey, it was better than China and Mark Henry.
That story. Oh my god! Why?
The sexual chocolate.
Why do you have to do that? Because you want to know what you just did? You just threw in Mark Henry and Mae Young. You did.
Inadvertently, of course. No. What I'm saying here is, it's a lot more believable than China and Mark Henry.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah,
true, I agree. Much more believable. Yeah.
Definitely. Dude, they played it off so good. Like,
they have more chemistry. Yeah,
their in-ring chemistry was like beyond anything what you see now.
And
you see it now, but look at. Okay, so prime example. Look at how they try to replicate that with Dominic and Rhea.
Yeah.
Okay, that was cool, but and
Dominic and Rhea,
and it's nothing on Rhea and Dominic. You know what I'm saying? But it's just their chemistry just wasn't really just how it was with Eddie and China. And then now you have, Dominic and Liv. They're trying to do it again, but in a different aspect, dude. But it still doesn't live up. Like, I don't think there's going to be a male and female, duo, whatever relationship on screen that's going to top Eddie and China at all.
I was just about to say that they
Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth.
But you're going to get more comedy out of Eddie. What are you going to get? Oh yeah, Miss Elizabeth, come give me a hug.
Well, there you go.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At least with Eddie and China, dude, Eddie was just always trying to make her laugh and like break character. Like, it was always funny because that's just who Eddie was. In a Mexican term, he was a payaso.
Oh, payaso.
So but that's how all people. You know what I'm saying? You're just in the Mexican culture, you just want to be a little jokester clown. Like, that's what you're called, as a payaso. And he took that on screen, dude, and ran with it, dude. Like, literally, it's the same thing like John Cena. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he first came in, Ruthless Aggression, and then all of a sudden, I watched the backstory on that. He was on a plane, and Stephanie McMahon heard him like freestyling, and she gave him another opportunity, and that's where the Thugonomics John Cena was born. And bam, look, that's what his calling was, and he ran with it. And then he came out with one of the greatest, wrestling rap, albums of all time. My Time Is Now.
When Latino Heat was born, it was probably, for me, it's probably one of the greatest, I guess, gimmicks, characters that I just love love watching. And like you said, so one they tried to replicate it, but it just didn't have the same magic, with either whether it was Dom and Rhea or Dom and Liv. It just didn't have that kind of click. I know it was kind of different. They instead of I think it was they said instead of pappy, I'm your pappy, is I'm your mammy. So, but yeah, it was just wasn't the same. That being said, though, Eddie after that kind of got released, and then he started to go back to the independent scene. And in my video, I'm not sure if you saw, but he did go to the independent IPW and wrestled CM Punk. I'm not sure if you ever guys saw that, but that was one of the ones I didn't know that he wrestled
CM Punk and Low
It was
Key.
Ray. It was Ray Mysterio in a triple threat. So yeah, before CM Punk signed to the WWE a month before Eddie died, actually, unfortunately, they had 5 matches in 2002. It was during Eddie's exile from WWE, and one of them was when a triple threat between himself, so CM Punk, Eddie, and Ray in a 3-way in IWA Mid-South for the Heavyweight Championship, which Punk won. And in the next day, highly acclaimed match the following month, they had another match 3-way with Colt Cabana getting in the win over Guerrero. And I remember there was a interview that CM Punk did, and he said he got asked about that match with Eddie, and he said, "Man, I thought I was a good wrestler until I wrestled Eddie Guerrero." And it kind of shows, he's called the best in the world, but Eddie just brings out the best in other people, I guess, in terms of wrestling. And there's other people that you may not have noticed that Eddie wrestled. Cactus Jack, he wrestled Cactus Jack. Not Mick Foley, sorry, but Cactus Jack, the character, albeit briefly. It was in 1995 WrestlePalooza. This was an ECW. But yes, did you ever see that the CM Punk one?
No, I saw it days and days after. Like a lot of the independent stuff, I wasn't really watching. So I mean,
yeah, no, fair enough.
As a kid growing up, dude, I was always running the streets or in the cars. So like, when I was, able to catch, a Raw's War, I'm saying, that's when I was tuning in. But like all the independent stuff, I wasn't really like tripping on. I found out about all that stuff way, way later.
From one to another one, I just want to shout out Sir JDM. He says, "I call Mustache Eddie Tita/Tio Eddie."
Yes.
So in Filipino, that's uncle and auntie.
Uncle.
But yes, he then went back to WWE. When was it? I got it here. He about 3 months later, and upon returning, he teamed up with his nephew Chavo Guerrero to form the Los Guerreros, and they won the Tag Team Championship at Survivor Series 2002. After they split, he then went on to a very successful singles, being a singles competitor, and that's when we take it to our next kind of moment, the Brock Lesnar feud. This was leading up to the No Way Out 2002. I'll maybe start with you, Sawan, because I remember you saying something about the Royal Rumble in regards to this one. Firstly, leading up to the feud, the Brock Lesnar feud, your thoughts on that one?
I mean, it was just, crazy watching it because it's like, the younger me, watching that, I'm like, dude, there's no way they're going to, Eddie's going to beat him because he's just going to get outpowered. Like, that was early stages of Brock Lesnar, and he was just a beast.
It was.
So it's like, throwing, Eddie or Rey Mysterio to go against fucking Brock Lesnar. Like, dude, you how you gonna stand a chance? But you know what, dude? Like, I mean, just watching it and like how everything built up to that match, and then the outcome of that match, dude, was just, it was well done on the creativity part of, of everything. It just showed, a different side of Eddie. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, literally, you go out there and you do it. You don't sit here and, just because, somebody's bigger, you don't give it your all. And like, you can tell, man, dude, Eddie gave it his all in that match, you know what I'm saying, for a great outcome and to become, a champion before, his tragedy.
like you said, the build-up was really good,
No, it
and
was.
one of the build-up moments that I fondly remember was the ride or the do or die promo.
The I would call that, you know what I'm saying, honestly, top 10. It fits, actually, no, it can fit in a top 3 promo cut
Mm.
because of how Eddie did it. And dude, like, I didn't expect it. Like, like when I watched it, I was like, dude, like, what the hell? Like, hold on, is this? It's kind of hard to tell because you don't know if he's like, just trying to sell, sell the
100%.
promotion,
Yeah,
or was he being serious? Like, dude, you couldn't really tell because of just like it was
that's
the
it.
look on his face.
That's it. That's it.
Felt so real kasi.
So Mark, did you see that promo? I did put it briefly in the video, but it goes for about 5-6 minutes. So just to give you an idea, Brock Lesnar walks out. He's got like a huge sombrero, and he brings out like a mariachi band, and they're just kind of playing songs, kind of to mock Eddie. And then Eddie comes out, confronts him, and then Brock says, "Well, I brought this mariachi band for you, Eddie, blah blah blah." And then he starts calling him an addict and whatnot. And I'm not sure if that's what triggered him to kind of do that promo. But after that, that promo was one of the most legendary for me. I think it's at least top 10 promos. For you, Sumak, what did you think of that promo? Watching it,
Actually, it's ano ba? It never felt like Boss One said. It never felt like it was an acting or what. It felt so natural. It felt so real. Eddie was speaking from his heart that time. He talked about his family, the mistakes of his life, etc., and also I think his addiction as well.
Yeah, he
So
put it all on the line, like everything, dude. He dug deep. He
right.
was like, in a church confession, spitting out his sins. Like, dude, he spit it out. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, you can hear his emotion in his voice that time, eh. And because he'd been through so much already, so it felt so real for me. Of course, people would say it's scripted, etc. Wrestling is scripted, but this is one of those moments that will remind you that promos are so powerful. Um, it is for me. It is one of those best promos I've ever watched. Period.
I agree. I mean, in it, he says, I remember he said, "You want to talk about addiction? Well, the truth is, Brock, I am an addict. I was."
yeah, but
And
before that, he went deep on him, and like he literally told him that. I remember this promo. Like, Brock told Eddie that he hated people like him, trying to take away things that he's worked hard for, and that him being an addict, hopefully he's addicted to losing, and that's what fucking started Eddie on his rant. Like, literally, I'm gonna have to find the video and post it. Like, if I could find like that whole segment, because in two there was a little comedy. When Brock came out, he had his hat
sombrero.
on. Came out,
Yeah.
he was just walking out like this backwards. I mean, a little funny, but then, like I said, when it got cut to the chase, dude, like Eddie laid it out and he went in on it. Like, and dude, there's no promo now that can ever touch this.
Right.
You go back and watch that promo, and as Eddie's talking, they kind of cut to Brock, and even Brock is kind of like, "Is this real?" He's kind of like, he's kind of thinking, "What did I say? What did I
Because
do?"
the look that Eddie was giving during that promo is the same look that Paul Heyman has on his face right now.
Sorry, Paul.
Serious.
So Paul Heyman, your thoughts on the Do or Die promo? I forgot to ask you. Sorry.
Right. Remember, guys, during this time of WWE, Brock Lesnar was not really much of a talker. Okay, he's much more of an in-ring guy. That's why he needed people like Paul Heyman as his mouthpiece. So doing this promo with Eddie, he was way over his head doing this promo. He didn't know what he was he was getting into.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, sure. So Brock will say his piece, and you guys said mentioned he didn't know what or how Eddie would have reacted as his counterpoint. And with this promo, it did showed how much range Eddie got. He was shooting from the heart, like you guys mentioned, and I think there was an interview or was an excerpt online saying that the first time when Brock was asked about that promo, he didn't know how to react
Mm.
Mm.
against that. Like he went blank or something. And after the rant that Eddie did, it just the promo just somewhat ended on in his court. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, okay, match is settled. That's it. We'll face No Way Up. And I mean, Brock Lesnar was so moved, was so shook by that performance. Like you guys mentioned, did I hurt you so much, bro? Did I hurt you? Sorry. Like at the back, right? And like I was a little bit curious now, like what happened after the promo backstage at Gorilla, saying like if Brock said or at least apologized to Eddie if he went too far with his insult or anything like that. But again, like I said, Brock was not really much of a like a talker, a spontaneous kind of guy with a mic around this time. I mean, looking back at the promo now, still he's very stiff and with how he was talking. Like he cannot really make it more believable with Brock Lesnar's performance there, but it overshadowed it with Eddie's work shoot promo. So yeah,
Well,
and at the time when I first watched this promo back in the day, I didn't realize that there was some stuff going on. Remember, ain't no social media. I didn't even realize that he was released or was fired because of that DUI incident that he had.
mhm.
All I know was they did took him out from TV for quite some time, and then he just came back.
Mm.
So my dumb ass didn't realize that he was out. If I didn't read any dirt sheets, I didn't read any of the online stuff. All I knew was maybe he was just injured, or maybe he just took a vacation. No,
Yeah.
first time I heard, or first time I knew that he was fired because of that DUI. Right. So, anyways, back to you guys.
Yeah, that's a good point that you bring. When that now that you mention it, when I first watched it way back in the first time.
Oh, sorry. Before I forget,
Yes.
when you guys mentioned about the CM Punk, there was this video out there saying, "Make a noise if you think that this wrestler is better than you." So out of all of the wrestlers that was mentioned, even Shawn Michaels, even Macho Man Randy Savage, even Steamboat. When it came to Eddie Guerrero, I mean, he had to say something. He had to make he had to make a noise. He conceded to Eddie Guerrero. Anyways,
Oh,
go.
that's cool. That's a huge sign of respect there from CM Punk. But yeah, when I first watched that promo, again, like you, Sergio, I didn't know that he was going through all of this stuff. Obviously, you want to keep your private life private. So, we just thought, oh, he's just kind of playing along, I guess. When Brock said you're an addict, blah blah blah, I'm just going to play along. And then watching it back, 20 plus years later now, and then knowing that he did go through this DUI, he was like an addict. He even mentioned in the start of the promo that he was high in the shower of the in the
Roll the clip, RV. You should roll it.
Yeah.
You should roll it.
Oh, he's
Oh,
put it on.
we're not doing that. We're not gonna get we're not gonna get flagged. Nope.
Oh, okay. But looking back now, I can kind of see, wow, that promo, I can actually see now that he may actually be just telling about his life and not actually talking to promote the fight. He's just talking about his life. You know what I mean? It's just like some when I do the promo, it's to promote the fight. Eddie went out and did a promo and just talked about his life, which is, it still sold the fight for me anyway, looking back on it. So it's, very crazy. But we'll move on to the actual fight itself, to In No Way Out 2002. Eddie did go on and win the championship, beating Brock. A lot of people were kind of rooting for it. I'm sure you, Sir One, were just so happy when he did kind of win. You can see it there on the screen. That's when he won the title.
A celebration like no other, man. I felt like I was,
Of course, he was happy.
Wow.
I mean, it is his boy.
And do you remember that match, Sir One?
Yes, I do.
Goldberg came out and interfered as well. And so that kind of set the course for Brock v. Goldberg. I'm not sure if that was their first one where they went. Their first match. Yeah, it was their first match. Yeah. And then again, you have to remember, guys, this is when Brock was, again, like what Sir Joe said, he wasn't much for a talker. He let his kind of, he was more of a actual wrestler. When I say wrestler, he kind of wrestled more. Because that match, the Eddie Guerrero match, that was like, 30 minutes, I believe, if I remember correctly. So there was time when Brock actually wrestled for quite a long time, not like nowadays where it's like 7-8 minutes and he's done. He gets put over.
Only during pay-per-views, mind you. Only during pay-per-views.
But yeah, no, there was a time where Brock wrestled a lot. And again, I can understand because he's older now. He kind of wants to, he even admits that he doesn't really watch the product as much anymore, and he's just here for the paycheck, and he just kind of shows up.
He did not like the constant traveling. Okay, one part, most likely part of his contract now, it says that I'm only wrestling during the pay-per-views. Just fly me once. That's it. I'm not gonna be doing constant live, constant house shows every so often like the rest of the guys. No. He hates traveling, guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for all of us, I guess. But so Mucky Mark, what was your thoughts on watching that match? So it was No Way Out, 2002, when Eddie beat Brock and became the WWE champion.
I remember watching this as I remember, it was RPN 9 around Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So it was one of those feel good moments. As always, it was Brock, the unstoppable force. Nobody can hurt him, as always. I didn't expect that Eddie would even beat him. It was that. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it was hard for me to visualize Eddie holding that belt that time. So, I mean, I was surprised, and I'm happy for him. But for me, it was still Eddie Guerrero versus JBL. Sorry, guys.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero. So that was the next match. Thank you for nice segue there, Sir Mark. So that's the next match in the feud. So after he beats Brock, and again, for me, it's such a great moment. It's really like kind of like David versus Goliath. You didn't think it was going to happen, but he did it. He beat it, and then
I knew it was going to happen.
There you go. So Johnny,
I knew. No. I mean, okay. Context here. This was around the time when they were trying to build up WrestleMania 20. Okay, and there were a few spots where Goldberg and Brock were having some beef. Okay, and so all signs were pointing towards WrestleMania 20. And around this time, Brock was having issues. Like again, he hated the constant traveling, so he wanted out of his contract. Same thing with Goldberg. I think his Goldberg's contract was about to expire as well, and he didn't want to re-sign for another deal. So both guys were heading out post WrestleMania 20. So the decision was made just for them to clash, and on paper sounds good, right? Brock and versus Lesnar. Uh, like an
Brock versus
unstoppable
Lesnar?
force. I mean, at the time, right? Brock versus Goldberg, right? So what happens when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force? What will happen? That was the selling point on paper. Goldberg versus Lesnar, and with Eddie versus Brock, even I knew, yeah, this will end up with shenanigans, and it did. First time watching it on pay per view back in the day, I was waiting for Goldberg to show up, and he did. Did that take away from the feel good moment, like Sir Mark and Mark mentioned? No, knowing Eddie Guerrero from then up until at that point, I was happy for him. Yes, he didn't beat Lesnar clean, but hey, this is one of those guys who was never told, was never going to be on the main event, was never going to win a major championship. Okay, always been uh, always been underestimated, always been relegated to the lower mid card. So if you're gonna look back on Eddie Guerrero's humble beginnings from all the way to the Indies, ECW, WCW, then working his way back back on WWE. Yeah, it was gratifying in itself because it kind of felt like you knew the guy enough that yeah, he deserved this. Like he's a good worker. He's constantly putting good matches, entertaining matches, mind you, despite of the storylines. So he was and he was getting so over with the crowd as well. So why not give Eddie the chance to have the belt? So Vince decided, okay, we'll put the belt to Eddie. Let's see what happens, right? And I remember during the aftermath of the match, like a lot of confetti's dropping. Was it confetti or balloons? Like everybody was happy. All of the crowd
Candy out of
jumped
the candy.
jumping towards his family, right? He jumped over there. He was having a mosh pit celebration with the crowd. They're so happy, right? And yeah, and it only followed WrestleMania 20 with what happened with Chris Benoit, but we'll talk about that later.
But you want to know something that before we go forward, you want to know what this Brock and Eddie match kind of showed to what they kind of changed later down the line? How was it that Eddie Guerrero was able to compete with him? Answer yourself that.
Like
And then,
physically,
physically, if you watch the match, like, dude, look at how Eddie was going, hitting him with the three amigos. And,
he was being tossed around like a rag doll.
But Eddie too. But Eddie was getting his clean moves in too. All his lucha style moves. And then look at Brock.
He was selling the hell out of Brock's moves. Yes.
And then look at how they portrayed Brock later down the line. Nobody couldn't beat him. John Cena just got his ass kicked by him. Roman Reigns got his ass kicked by him so many times. Cody, dude, like, how is it that Eddie at this time showed that Brock can be fucking out wrestled and beat, but now current time nobody can really fuck with Brock unless you're his actual size.
True.
Easy, Goldberg.
Yeah, but that honestly, I was actually very disappointed with that. Like, literally,
calling the assist.
It's like, dude, but it's like, even when they had their match, Brock and Goldberg, it's like, dude, really? Like, all it took was one spear. One spear. Come on.
No, it took one spear and a frog splash. Oh, I'm sorry. One spear, one spinning DDT that missed the belt, mind you, and then the frog splash.
So, but it just showed that literally Brock wasn't nothing in this time. You know what I'm saying? If he was what he's supposed to be, how he was now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just showed. This is my rant about it.
No,
Oh,
for sure.
Speaking of rants, sidebar. Speaking about the frog splash, nobody said Eddie Guerrero's finishing move as a frog splash. At the time when Eddie Guerrero was choosing for his finisher, his old tag team partner, it was shown in the video, his old tag team partner back in the day, Art Barr, did the splash did the splash from the top rope. The way he did it, Too Cold Scorpio, okay, Too Cold Scorpio said, "Huh, that splash that he did, he kind of looks like a frog when he kind of looks like a frog when he did that." That's why he said, "Okay, we'll call it the frog splash." So that's the story of the frog splash. So Eddie Guerrero kind of
Nice.
adapted it, and then henceforth, because of Too Cold Scorpio and Art Barr performing the splash so very awkwardly, that's why it's called the frog splash.
But then
It's
Eddie throws
definitely
his little twist to it. It's the Latino frog splash.
the Latino.
Dude, watching
He looks like a frog.
Watching
Too Cold
Dominic
Scorpio
try to
said
do
that.
the Eddie's little dance, bro. I'm like, dude, really? You look retarded.
It's a bit cringe, and
Yeah.
it's definitely one of the most. A lot of people use the frog splash. I mean, you've seen Seth Rollins use it. You've seen, like you said, Dominic Mysterio use it. Even when Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné was, as she is known now, she used it. So a lot of people, and I think Zelina Vega used it.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
There's quite a few people that use it. I'm not sure if it's just, in honor of Eddie, because, a lot of people, Eddie inspired a lot of people. And I just want to make a point that Sergio actually made that was very interesting, that reminded me of something, that at the time, Eddie, Eddie and Ray, they weren't your typical, champions that Vince wanted to put championships on, if you know what I mean. They weren't like your stereotypical, like Brock Lesnar, Hulk
Big
Hogan.
guys,
They weren't
muscle guys.
big guys, look like a huge
Like Ryback.
Ryback, all those type of guys.
See,
It's Braun Strowman, man.
I'm surprised though, just on that name right there. Why didn't Ryback get his push, dude? Ryback was a fucking beast, dude. Feed me more. Like, come on, give him a title reign.
But
I mean,
guys
this was a time when Goldberg was already out. This was a time when Brock Lesnar was already out, and Ryback came in. It's like this is like Goldberg and Lesnar put together. But backstage politics and all that. That's why.
Just to add, Eddie and Ray kind of changed Vince's kind of, I guess, perspective. Perception that these guys, these smaller guys, can actually be world or WWE champions, and I think that's a really cool legacy that he left on. I actually just want to answer Sir JDM's point. He put in the comment he fought Loki too. So Loki,
Yeah, he fought Loki.
was a wrestler in the Indies. Eddie fought him in the Indies. It was around 2001, 2002. They crossed paths during that time.
And Loki got over.
Loki got over, yes. It was they worked a show in New Jersey-based promotion, the ICW, Impact Championship Wrestling, now known as ICW. No Holds Bar, challenging him in 2000s, and who was the 5-month into a long year reign as champion. Loki would win that bout, and Eddie would return to the WWE less than a year later. So again, this was during the time Eddie was not.
Just shows that Eddie has no problems putting the younger kids over.
Yeah,
sure. I'll do my thing, but I'll make you famous more. You know what I mean? He's not one of those wrestlers. Oh, that's not gonna work for me, brother. I'm going over.
But yeah, like to your point, Sergio, he put a lot of people over. Even I just wanted to bring back to Sir Marky Mark, so the JBL feud. So after he won the championship at No Way Out, he defended it against Kurt Angle, and then went on to feud with JBL. And if you remember, JBL was kind of trying to reinvent himself from Bradshaw. into JBL, kind of like a loud, wealthy, arrogant businessman would come in in a limo and stuff like that, and it was a really
Hey.
good feud.
Put some respect on the name of the wrestling god.
And their feud was very entertaining. So, Marky Mark, was your thoughts on that feud? Because Eddie put JBL over, and I think it was in the Great American Bash that he did so. It was great match. I remember watching it just recently.
Well, I mean, just to that point, real quick before Mark gets into it, I mean,
sure.
JBL wasn't. I mean, he was already established. I mean,
as a tag team, yes. As a tag, yes.
But I mean, he was still on that, on that rise. Like, he was still big, even though, yeah, he was a part of, dude, I would say one of the solidest tag team. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be formed, but like Bradshaw still had, his high.
Oh, he could hold his own for sure. Yeah.
I was okay with the whole, him going cowboy. You know what I'm saying? How do you go from being, a beer drinker, metal rock listener to, oh my God, now I'm listening to Garth Brooks. Yeehaw. You know what I'm
saying? To my knowledge, after the Acolyte Protection Agency, the APA got disbanded. So this was a time during the initial years of the brand split. Yeah. SmackDown really needed a major heel character because there were a lot of baby faces at the time.
Yeah.
So the pitch was made, and Bradshaw pretty much volunteered. How can I have a run as the heel? So they disbanded the APA, and then Bradshaw went AWOL for a while. Of course, even Ron Simmons. Farouk went AWOL as well until one episode of SmackDown, barging in JBL, the character. So like everybody knew it was him, but this was a different kind of Bradshaw, where he started doing in-ring promos, talking more about himself. Because the Bradshaw that we knew was just like, okay, just pay me, I'll beat the next, I'll beat the guy that you want me to beat. That's it. He didn't really much of a talker either. That time when during the earlier promos of JBL, he really did show that he can talk.
Such an underrated heel. Sorry, so Mark, I was just going to ask you your thoughts on that feud and JBL.
I think this rivalry will not work. Well, this is just my opinion. Will not work if JBL isn't a good heel.
Oh yeah,
he was one of those heels that can talk and do things in the ring as well. So it was that effective. Also, I just remember how bloody Eddie's face,
oh yes,
gushing out, the blood gushing out from his face. It was.
The ring was pretty much painted red at that time.
Yeah, it was.
If you can find the match somewhere in YouTube, not fully censored, like a good chunk of the ring mat, like maybe like 3/4 of it. Yeah, Eddie made sure he painted that ring red.
Like
if there's any white in there, yeah, I'll fill it up with blood.
I'll paint it red.
It's funny because when you watch the Night of Champions, if you watch it back on Netflix, during when Bron Breakker got his head cut open and he started bleeding. If you go back and watch it, Netflix blurs it out, so you can't see it. So you can see how times have changed.
It's not going to work today, no.
It's not going to work.
Man, hardly anybody bleeds today, man. Hardly anybody bleeds.
They only bleed on the main pay-per-views, and only maybe a little bit.
Only if they're allowed. Only if they're
Only if
allowed.
they're
I
allowed.
believe I believe if you do that without the go signal from upper management, you'll get fined for that, I think.
Really? Oh, there you go. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
because I remember when Undertaker and Triple H had their match. I'm not sure if it's a WrestleMania 17 match that they had. They said that okay, I'll uh, for added effect for the story, we'll do a blade job, right? And then after the match, they got both Triple H and Undertaker got fined by Vince because Vince had to make an example. Undertaker said to Triple H, "Hey, did you get fined? Yeah, man. So did you? Yeah." And Undertaker said, If the if the son-in-law got fined and him getting fined,
Right.
right? No one is safe."
It's very true. Very true. That's funny. I actually wasn't aware of that, but yeah, times have changed. We'll move on to the next feud that he had. So Eddie dropped the belt to JBL at the Great American Bash. He then teamed up with Ray, and they won the tag team championship. He would then, though, turn on Ray, becoming one of the, I think for some people, it was quite a heartbreaking feud, but people just couldn't stop. Like, it was such an entertaining feud, and one of the probably most memorable is the custody battle feud of Dominic Mysterio and Dom at the time. Oh, I don't know, who would have been? I'd say
Man, we are old. God
we are,
damn it.
yeah.
Like if you remember how small Dom was.
he had blonde hair. He had
I
blonde
mean,
hair.
like we were there watching it during. I mean, like I'm sorry to cut again. I mean, watching that segment back then, remembering it now, how small Dom was, and then
Right.
looking how big Dom is right now. Like, how that? I mean, where did the time went? I mean, like how old are we? Like, how old are we now?
I
You know
remember.
what I mean?
I remember now watching that, and then I think maybe it was a couple years ago. Dominic kind of relived that moment, and he was telling his side of the story, and he was saying, "Yeah, it was such a cool moment because I got to get out of school because they wanted me WWE wanted me to be in the storyline, and I had to go out of school, so I missed some weeks of school for this." And so JDM mentions
That's
in the
how
chat,
old. Okay.
he was playing the PSP back then. He was playing
That's how old we are, guys. When the PSP was still a thing. That's how
and
old.
then but yes, it was I think for some people emotional but very memorable, maybe controversial for some people. For me, I think at the time maybe, yeah, but what started kind of like as friends evolved into a really deep and personal storyline about friendship and betrayal and family. The famous custody storyline. I'll ask you first, Sir One. You may have a lot to say about this, but what was your kind of initial reaction and thoughts to this storyline?
I mean, I was just like, wow, you bring in Rey Mysterio's kid into a fat ass storyline. Like, I was shocked. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. Like, I'll say that much. Like, I didn't expect them to go that deep into it.
To go Jerry Springer.
Yeah. But okay. Look how long.
This is something like Vince Russo would have done.
Look how long this whole custody battle bit has been going on for. It's still going on today. Like, what other promos, or storylines has still been continued on? None. Like, I mean,
Undertaker and Kane.
But they don't talk about it. But I mean, even though now that Dom is wrestling, I'm saying it's still, like, it's
the
still
kayfabe
going.
is still real. Okay, it's still Eddie's kid. The conspiracy theory that it is Eddie's kid.
Well, I mean, too, you guys want to know, all you got to do is on YouTube, go and look up, Eddie Guerrero's story time. When he's talking about that, how he donated or he gave his best friend his stuff to make a kid. and get your laugh on. You've never seen that?
I remember seeing that. I know what you're
It-
talking about. I know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's something like okay, is he serious about this, or is this just a work shoot, or is this just joking?
Oh, I mean that's all part of the storyline, dude. Like that's all.
That's part of the storyline.
I mean, because you can look like, I mean, granted, he had a book in his hand when he was sitting in the middle of the ring, but it's like what he wasn't reading. It's like he glanced down and like, okay, bam, and he was looking up. Glance down, look up. Glance down, look up.
I know the one you're
I mean-
talking about. I've seen it.
All right, so knowing what we know now, what Rey Mysterio looked like without the mask during that brief stint that he was maskless at WCW. I still know what Rey looked like without the mask. Okay, so looking at Dominic Mysterio back then when he was like 10 years old, maybe, like I mean, even I knew that is indeed he looks like Rey. Okay, Dominic, 10 years old, which is so uncanny. As the years went by, he started looking like Eddie.
Because he has the hairstyle now of the Latino Heat, and I remember
He had the hairstyle, he had the he had the goatee,
and even to so one's point, they're still kind of playing it now. I remember on the podcast of Stephanie McMahon, Stephanie asked about that, and he says, "Oh, I still don't know who my father is, because they say it's Ray, but I look like every day I look like more like Eddie because he has the hairstyle, the mustache and whatnot." But I kind of had a look, just a quick search to see if there was any kind of similar storylines where it kind of involved like a son, and I don't think there was. I mean, it's giving me like the Randy Orton Mick Foley 2004 when this was Mick Foley kind of disrespected, I guess, Randy's dad. There was Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon. They had numerous kind of father-son storylines, but there wasn't really like a storyline like this. That's why I kind of shocked people, and kind of thinking, I guess for some people it was like, is this real? For you, Sir Mark, what was your thoughts on this storyline, the custody battle storyline?
Sorry about the dog.
Did you think it was real? Was there any doubt that it was Eddie's kid?
What I'm thinking right now is, what if it was true? That's it. What if Dominic's dad is Eddie all the time? Ano? What the heck? That's what I'm thinking right now. So also, if ever Eddie is still alive right now, I think he would be a general manager of AAA.
I think
Doug wants to go outside. He's trying to tell you he needs to go outside, sir.
He's trying to tell you.
The dog is having disagreements with Mark. The dog thinks this is all real. Okay. It's Ray's kid.
Shortly after that kind of feud, so again, if you remember, Ray won that, won the ladder match of the custody battle, and then it was a couple of months. It was November 11, 2005, where Eddie had his final televised match on SmackDown, defeating Mr. Kennedy to qualify for the SmackDown
Do it right.
Survivor.
Do it right. Mr.
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
There you go. He got it right. But I mean, to touch on them, like, okay, like, this whole, custody battle, you want to know what else? The other funniest, this could be my kid type of deal was Vince. And who else? Who else?
Steph.
No. Who was Vince McMahon? Who was the fruit of his loins, as he said during the promo? What wrestler was it?
Hornswoggle?
There you go.
Yes.
Dude, that one was hilarious. Now, dude,
that was a good one.
Why didn't they make Hornswoggle champion? He could have been the smallest and shortest. He still could have did it.
Is
Yeah.
They
So
could have
He's
had the
not
miniature
buff.
version.
Okay, he's not buff enough. Okay.
Well, they could have had it to where they had the miniature, the midget version of whoever he was going against for the title come out and wrestle. That'd be
Because
funny.
no
as
one
well.
will take
That'd
it
be funny.
seriously.
that'd be funny.
No one will
Yes.
take it seriously. Come on.
No, that is true. No one would take it seriously.
Well,
And
I mean,
also,
I
somebody
mean,
takes
hey, okay,
El
right,
Torito.
okay. It's bad enough David Arquette had to win the WCW championship. Now you want Hornswoggle. At least with David Arquette, it's a little bit more believable.
Yeah. I
so
still support
JDM in the
Fargo.
chat actually just mentioned Jason Jordan and Kurt Angle, father and son gimmick. So there was another one.
But
that
they
they
look,
had.
but that could have been believable though, like somewhat believable.
True.
Like
They do kind of look alike.
but look at Jason Jordan now. You know, he comes out, you know, to try to break up fights.
But back to Eddie, he had his last televised match, like I mentioned, November 11, 2005 on SmackDown against Mr. Kennedy to qualify for the SmackDown Survivor Series team. Sadly, 2 days later, November 13, in Minneapolis, his life was cut tragically short due to a heart failure. His nephew, Chavo Guerrero, found him.
What was that? The one when Mr. Kennedy did that that chair shot on
Yes,
Eddie's head?
that's the one. That's the one.
Right.
Yes.
And then he was you guys might know more about this when Anderson was asked about it. Did you ever
is
think
this on
that
the podcast, CVV's
yeah,
podcast?
the podcast?
Yes,
Yeah, the CVV podcast.
Yeah.
So he was asked, did you think that head chair shot might have contributed to Eddie's death? And Anderson was like, he was shook, like thinking about it, like maybe not.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to rule it. But he didn't want to rule it out per se, because at this time, who knew,
Yeah.
like who knew that would have happened? I mean, a lot of people got a lot of chair headshots, but didn't really die.
Yeah.
the couple of nights after, so it was pretty scary. I mean, if you were Mr. Anderson at that time, you would
have to
think,
feel yeah,
you might feel bad about it. Shit, did I did that?
yeah. No, I remember. I know the one you're talking about, Sergio. I watched that podcast and I remember saying, "Oh man, I'd feel for him," because he's like you said, it was his last match, and he just thinking about it, it's like, oh, maybe it was me. You know, he'll always have that in the back of his mind. Unfortunately, Eddie was only 38 when he passed, and
But
the following.
but it was he had a heart disease, so where would my thing is, where would a chair shot come into play?
It was because there were the medication.
I have a theory.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Yep.
Let's hear the theory, Mr. Paul Heyman.
Okay, but this is medical jargon to you guys.
Sure.
Okay. So let's just say Eddie Guerrero already had an underlying heart condition because all of the years of drug abuse. Okay. So according to the coroner's report, as far as I remember, he had a case of cardiomegaly, which is basically an enlarged heart.
Okay.
And that could have contributed to substance abuse. And let's just say that particular chair shot was loud enough, was hard enough. It might have caused a hematoma, which is basically a blood clot. And that blood clot must have developed overnight over some time. And then, for some reason, it got circulated within Eddie's circulation, went straight to his heart, cardiac arrest.
Heart attack. Yeah.
But
No,
that's my working theory, which is very probable.
It's reasonable.
Knowing the facts that we know now.
Well, I remember reading something that Vicky said that it was, what'd you say? It was his substance abuse and his crazy workout regimens, from what she said, is what caused his heart disease.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, They work
Yeah,
out a lot.
because remember, guys, when Eddie Guerrero started out, he was never really that buff.
Yeah.
When he returned back in 2002, he got jacked,
Mhm.
right?
We can call him the baby Brock because he was like chiseled like Brock, but just smaller.
Yeah.
Baby Brock.
He was zoomed out. He wasn't zoomed in 200. He was zoomed out 75.
Yeah, I mean, even when I remember when he was in ECW and WCW, he was never really that. I mean, he's lean, sure, but it's not like circa 2003 2004 when his chest was really has really gotten wider. His arms were a bit obviously got bigger, but everything else, I mean, but his stature is pretty much the same, which most of us thought at the time he was taking steroids. Anabolic steroids, which, I mean, knowing WWE during those days, I mean, it's not impossible for him to do that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's it was very emotional when I kind of find out that Eddie had passed.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll ask you, Sir Mark.
Yes. Oh, sorry. To add more to that, if we are going by Vince McMahon's perception that I'm only looking for champions who are big. Maybe at the time, I'm just speculating here, the plan was for Eddie to go over as champion, but he was still physically small. He was told that this was the plan. We just needed you to bulk up, just gain a little bit more muscle mass. That's why he did what he did. Reasonable.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, remember, Vince liked big men.
He did like big men. Yeah, he was very fond of big men. So, Marky Mark,
wow,
your thoughts on his your thoughts?
No
on
homo.
No homo.
Viraj, no homo. Yeah, he is a homo. Viraj, you homo.
Viraj,
I remember. I remember hearing this news when I was like fourth year high school in the morning when we were going to start our class. At first, I was like, it wasn't real. It was just like a joke or a hoax or whatever. Then when the news spreads out, so it was real. Then what really hurts me the most is we'll never know what else he could have accomplished.
100%. There was so many more matches, and
Eddie Guerrero was supposed to face Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, they never faced, believe it or not. So they never faced Eddie Guerrero and Shawn Michaels. It's kind of one of those matches that, man, I would have loved to have seen play out.
We still.
Oh no, WrestleMania 22. They were supposed. Yeah, the plan was for them to face WrestleMania 22. Eddie and Shawn.
Eddie and Shawn.
We can make that happen, RV. Let's do a simulation.
A simulation.
I think people already did with SmackDown versus Raw and the WWE 2020.
Well, that's them.
The 2K series. Yeah, I think somebody already did. Yeah.
That's them though. That we're different than everybody else who's did it.
Oh, we're doing our own. All right,
we're doing our own. Come on, Paul. Come on.
Just to add to Sir Mark's point, there were probably some people out there that thought this isn't real. And you remember, I know this was after the passing of Eddie, but if you remember, Vince faked his own death. If you remember, I think it was in 2007. He faked his own death. He got in a limo. The limo exploded, and then do you remember what happened 2 weeks later? Chris Benoit died, and then they had to kind of get back. No, I'm not actually dead. Vince was like, no, I'm not actually dead, because he had people calling, his secretary emailing, like, is Vince actually dead? So I can kind of see how people may not think that this passing of Eddie was real and stuff like that, but it was, sadly. And like to what Sir Mark said, there's just so many more kind of matches and things, and if he was still alive today, you could have had a match with him and Dominic Mysterio, for example. I don't know if he'd still be wrestling. I know Ray's still wrestling, but still, there's just so many more what ifs. You know what I mean? So, and as well as maybe for me, the biggest what if, if he hadn't died, again, this might be controversial, but if Eddie hadn't died, there could be an argument that Chris Benoit would still be alive as well. That's just but
Yeah.
I know it's controversial, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it could definitely play out like that. I always think like the butterfly effect, like if this didn't happen, if Vince didn't buy out WCW, this wouldn't have happened. He wouldn't have had created this. The Stone Cold wouldn't have happened. Again, if Eddie hadn't died, this wouldn't have happened. It's a lot of what ifs, and I can see that were happening. Maybe I'll ask you, so one. What was your thoughts on the passing? The sad passing when you found out?
I saw it on the next episode that that popped up on live TV when when they opened it, with the whole Eddie tribute. I'm like, the hell, like, I mean, I didn't see anything. I mean, I wasn't really big on watching news or on the internet like that to kind of see what happened. But I found out, when they showed the next show when it was on Raw's War. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, it was a shock, like, Mark was saying too, like, okay, is this believable? Like, are they trying to pull something? But then too, once you see everybody come out and everybody's fucking emotional and they're wearing, EG patches or Eddie Guerrero, T-shirts or just anything to, to show their support for him, like, I'm like, okay, whoa, like, let's see what they got to say. And then as they started talking, they don't sit here and do the 10 bell ring salute for nothing. Like, that's always, but when they did that, I'm like, holy shit. It took a minute to absorb, but it was like, fuck, man, like, literally, that's really crazy. How is wrestling going to be now, without Eddie Guerrero?
100%. And I wrote down some of like the matches that if he was still alive or he had still been alive, I would have loved to have seen number 5, Eddie versus Dom or even Eddie, Dom and Ray versus Eddie and someone else, for example, in a tag. Eddie versus Shawn Michaels, again, that would have happened had he still. I would have loved to see number 3, Eddie versus Seth Rollins. Number 2, Eddie versus Randy. That never happened. And number 1, Eddie versus AJ Styles. Those are the matches that I would have loved to have seen if he'd still been alive. Sadly, obviously not. So Joe, your thoughts on the passing and maybe what could have been?
I remember the day vividly. This was 2005.
Yes.
The morning of 2005, when the news break out, I saw the news on cable, CNN. It was the news broke out, and whenever you see news like this on cable news, it's real.
Yep.
Right. Same thing when the two towers or the World Trade Centers got destroyed back in 2001. So, and I remember that day as well. So 4 years later, I find the news that Eddie that Eddie died. It was a shocker, definitely. I went to college. I was freshman first year college at the time, and all throughout, I remember I couldn't really focus. I mean, I keep thinking that the news broke, and then I said I wanna once I get home, I'll check out Monday Night Raw if they're gonna address this. And when I got home, there's this video package that they showed. You guys remember this? When WWE did this music video tribute for Eddie Guerrero, 3 Doors Down.
Yes,
Here Without You, baby. I mean, Here Without You. Like, I mean, no disrespect to 3 Doors Down, and rest in peace. My condolences for the loss of their lead singer. At the time, I didn't know 3 Doors Down, but when they did that promo or that music video for Eddie Guerrero, yeah, I mean, I went ahead and searched the song online, and whenever I keep hearing that song, I always go jump thinking it's Eddie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that song to me, and I'm definitely sure I'm not the only one. Every time we hear that song, we always think of Eddie Guerrero because of how Like, because to my knowledge, that was the very first tribute video that WWE produced using a contemporary song,
Mm.
right? And then, so yeah, uh, and then of course, Monday Night Raw, all of the wrestlers were there doing paying giving the 10 bell salute for Eddie. Um, yeah, a lot of emotional faces, definitely. Um, they panned Chris Benoit and Rey Mysterio, because because definitely those two will be the first two that you'll think of that who are gonna take this news very badly, of
Mm.
course. But surprisingly, a lot of folks at the time were really shook about the news. I mean, it's not. I mean, they did the Eddie Guerrero like tribute for both Raw and SmackDown. Like exhibition matches. I mean, no storylines whatsoever. Everything's on hold. We'll just do, match after match after match. I mean, screw kayfabe for for 2 nights, I guess. Yeah, and it's still at the time, like a good few days came after. It just still didn't felt real. You know what I mean? Looking back, and then Chris Benoit eventually uh, going on with his downward spiral, which led to his incident.
Mm.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about that. um, but still, it when the news when that news broke out, all of those memories, all of those matches that I saw um, Eddie and Chris hugging at WrestleMania 20. Like, hey man, um, say what you will about the way you exited your life, but you were able to manage to win the championship. Both you and your best friend were able to win the championship on WrestleMania. You had that moment. You know what? Um, it's a shame it did happen. It was a shame that he died young, but culminating all, he was able to achieve all of that though. So I have thinking about it now. So it kind of brings this mixed emotions. But if you're gonna ask me like 20 years ago, yeah, I mean, I'm still pretty shocked, really.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean,
Even
because
with his legacy right now, with Ray and Dom doing the things that Eddie was doing, the lie, cheat, and the steal kind of thing, you know, uh, shenanigans in ring. It still brings people over. Like whenever they try to pull it off, people will think, "Oh, it's Eddie." I mean, looking at the audiences, I mean, looking at the people, they'll say, "Oh shit, that's Eddie." Like they still remember.
They still, yeah.
They still remember. We still remember. All right. Sir
His
JDM
legacy.
joining us.
Oh, so
The other
JDM.
one.
Oh, yeah, Sir JDM. So happy to have you, Sir
Excellent
JDM.
reference.
Sir JDM, your thoughts? Eddie's passing. Go.
To be honest, I haven't been watching any forms of wrestling during that era. But I remember one of my classmates announced that Eddie passed away. It was so sad because I have become fond of Eddie Guerrero since his WCW days.
Yeah, right.
That's the time. That's the
You would
time
know.
when I saw him. Yeah.
You
Uh,
would know.
he he was a very funny guy. He got talent, and he did help some talents to uh, reach their like fame. and stuff. Yeah. And yeah, it's just sad because I haven't seen wrestling for the longest time. I think the last time I saw a wrestling match was back in 2001, and it was still WCW, but I didn't even know that WCW disintegrated, and most of the talents went in there in WWF.
Yeah.
So it's really sad, but I saw a lot of like tributes to him, especially Rey Mysterio, who won the Royal Rumble in 2006, and
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
he did a tribute. He was doing this, and and eventually he won. He won the Royal Rumble, right?
What was your favorite moment, Sir JDM? Your favorite Eddie Guerrero moment?
I remember him getting a feud with his nephew, Chavo Guerrero.
Chavo.
Yeah. And because Chavo was on a losing streak back in 1998, 97 or 98. They teamed up.
Yeah.
Then he was trying to coach Chavo to be like do stuff that you don't usually do, like he'll
Is that the one with the toy
he'll
horse?
stuff. Yes. I forgot the name of the horse.
Jorge.
Yes, Jorge.
Yes.
And he was telling him to use that horse next time. Then you can see him like slapping Chabo around. He was yelling at him, do the thing and something, and he would just say no. And then like he got fed up after a few weeks. He got fed up and he beat Eddie, and that started their feud. And when he got fed up, he became more violent. Then all of a sudden, like Eddie was like this. Oh, what have I done? He became so. He became this very angry person, and he thinks that he unleashed the beast in Chavo, and that started their feud. But it fizzled out after some time, and he like created his own stable, the LWO,
LWO.
where he collected all of the luchadors
The
and
Mexican.
all of the other cruiserweight wrestlers in WCW.
And
speaking
El
of
Dandy. Let's not forget about El Dandy.
And
yeah, he
My
also
jam up guy.
defined the WCW cruiserweight division. And
yes.
so you see Chris Jericho, you see La Parca, you see even Billy Kidman, right? They really defined the cruiserweight division during that time
Actually,
in WCW.
actually, the cruiserweight matches were better compared to the main event matches that they had back in WCW.
Right, exactly. You have more
Yeah.
action in the cruiserweight division. That's real wrestling compared to the ones that you
What
see
they were
with
doing.
Goldberg.
A lot of run-ins, a lot of
Kevin Nash.
DQs, but if you really want to see submission or pinfall victories, like real real lucha, maybe wrestling, yeah, you go go to the lower card.
Yes. And also back then in when he was still in ECW, I saw their final match in ECW. It was 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh, is that
Really?
Dean Malenko?
Dean Malenko?
Within
Or
yes,
Benoit?
within Malenko.
Then we go, yeah,
No.
I remember that. Yeah.
The shooter Dean Malenko.
How do you not
And-
remember that, Paul? It was your promotion.
He does remember that.
He had a lot. Okay, he had a lot of matches with Chris. Had a lot of matches with Ray. Okay, I mean, which one are we talking about?
One of the highlight of that match, by the way, is they did this. They do a sequence where they it's a non-stop sequence of moves. There were reversals. They blocked
like
each
grappling?
other's
Kind of like at the
attacks, yes.
start. Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they stop,
lots of
like-
technical stuff. Yeah,
Technical,
uh,
that's it. Yeah, technical.
Then
Yeah,
they
very
stop
technical.
and
during the
like,
first 5 minutes. Yeah,
right. They stop and they
and the
this,
crowd
fights.
cheered, like they'll clap. And this was
You don't see a lot of
ECW,
that
guys.
nowadays.
They don't care about technical wrestling stuff. They want blood, all right? They want chairs. They want gore. But no, like Sergio Day mentioned, doing all of those technical stuff, really, all of the ECW, the fans at the time, they were really impressed with what they saw.
Yeah. And it ended with a draw because they did a pin, like
A double pin.
A double
Yes,
pin, yes,
double pin,
because
yeah.
both of their
Both shoulders were down,
the
yeah.
mat. And it was also their final match in ECW, and to the dismay of the audience, because before the match, the announcer announced that it will be their last match in ECW because they had a contract with they
Eric
already
Bischoff.
had their yes with their, and the people was like boo.
You sold out. You sold out. You sold out.
But still they were able to deliver and give the audience the match that worth watching, and
Mm.
it was a great match. It was a great like match to end their careers in ECW.
Definitely. Yeah, I watched that match, so JDM. I think just by default, Eddie retained the title, even though it was like the last match, so it didn't really matter. But so
Vacated the belt, sure.
so before we sign off, what was your favorite Eddie Guerrero moment?
But I've said it before. Is the match with him and Rey Mysterio, Halloween Havoc. Like that match, like
Right.
literally just between two talented individuals, dude. Like literally the match that they put on, the moves that they were doing, just the match was just full of energy. I mean, I really don't think that there was another match
Even
during that time that kind of really like lived up to it.
even
Yeah, you're
in WCW, they were already doing the Costa Dig match.
Yeah.
But like we were talking about earlier, like that promo has been a forever lived thing because that promo is still going on today with Dominic. Like it's just crazy, but I mean,
They still
but-
reference it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but I mean, too, reference it. I mean, in the look, how in Dom's look with his his mullet, his mustache. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think they're going to cut that anytime soon. But yeah, but Halloween Havoc, that was like honestly my favorite match, and I mean, I've gone back to it several times just kind of watch it because it still gives you that holy shit, that wow factor.
it's wonderful.
Just think about being there during that match. You know what I'm saying, and the energy that the crowd was given. Like I guarantee you, it's fucking intense.
And I agree. I think if there was any match that I'd want to go back and just watch live. You said, Russell, what match would you want to watch? I'd say that one.
Yeah.
So Mark, what was your favorite Eddie moment before we sign off?
I'd stick with my JBL and
Gabriel?
JBL and
That's
Eddie Guerrero feud. That's my favorite match and rivalry of Eddie's career.
That showed right there too two different variation sides of Eddie though, because it was like look at he was with Ray, flipping and doing this and doing that, and look how crazy he was in that JBL match.
He
Dude,
could
like,
wrestle any style. Really.
any style he can wrestle, but then dude, look at what Eddie was willing to do and put his body on the line. Like literally,
Yeah.
look at how much fucking blood was lost during that match. Like
Very
Joe was
well
saying
managed.
earlier, there was nothing on that fucking canvas that was white.
Yeah, they'll never be able to do that now.
No.
so,
Boo!
so JDM, your favorite WWE Eddie Guerrero moment?
Oh, me?
Yes. So your favorite Eddie Guerrero moment?
I think I already mentioned it.
Oh, you already mentioned.
Eddie.
Sorry, I was the. Yes, you did. Sorry, my apologies. Sir Joe, before we sign off, your favorite Eddie Guerrero moment.
Right. Before that, just a few more factoids to be said. Eddie Guerrero mastered the drop kick. They said at 15 years old.
Oh,
So every once in a while, you'll see Eddie will do the his version of the drop kick as part of his arsenal. Also a member of the original SmackDown 6. Okay, from 2002 back 2002 2005 when SmackDown was really what was needing a lot more star power or a lot more or a lot more branding rights because most of the heavy hitters were on Raw. Paul Heyman thought, okay, let's just do what we work with. All of these smaller guys that everybody thought that might not be main eventer stuff. How about we elevate them? We got Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, Edge, Chavo, and Eddie Guerrero, right? The SmackDown 6. So pretty much elevated the SmackDown brand during those years. And to my knowledge, we don't have any anymore that could follow the original SmackDown 6. My favorite Eddie Guerrero moment would be, it keeps coming back to me because at the time it just fits his character, but I kind of saw what he was going for with this when he pulled this out. Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle, No Way Out. So that was the time when you know what, you guys know this. Kurt Angle was trying to do the ankle lock, but Eddie just kept on nagging that his ankle's pretty swollen. He loosened up his boot, so eventually during the climax of the match, that loose boot.
Came off.
Kurt Angle didn't know that it was loose. Went straight for that leg again, up to the point that the boot came off loose and lie, cheat, steal. Do a quick roll up. 1, 2, 3. Eddie retains the WWE Championship, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, when Eddie started loosening up that boot, I'm like, I mean, it's kind of obvious what they were aiming for here. Like, okay, and I just sat there thinking, oh, that was gonna come loose. That was gonna come out loose. It's gonna be that's gonna win the match, and certainly it did. But it did fit his character. It did fit the
100%.
storyline. It was an amazing moment.
What
Yeah.
I like about Eddie is whenever he uses the like the dirty moves that heels usually do.
Even if he's a
Doesn't-
babyface.
Yes,
He gets cheered
it
for
doesn't.
it.
Yes, he gets a cheer, and he's getting like very like is doing improvisations. You don't see
Improvisation.
those cheating moves every time. He does different dirty moves every time.
Mm.
So you have the chair technique that he gives the chair to the other wrestler to. So
I love that. That's the best. But no, you're right, Sir JDM. Like, even when he's playing a heel and he does those dirty tactics, he gets cheered for them. It's so
He
It's,
gets-
so
it's just
good.
it's just because it's Eddie, man. Like
It's
literally,
Eddie.
like I mean, you can't really sit
It's the
here. I mean, dude,
charisma.
look at how much the fans were behind him. Like literally,
People will
like
people will watch that every time.
like this moment. Okay, you remember when I'm trying to remember? It was a tag team match. It was him and Booker T. I forgot who they went against. It was early. I mean, it was early January. Dude, this is the craziness of Eddie Guerrero. You remember when he extended the tag team rope to tag in when Booker
Oh
T
yeah.
was in his ass kick? Tied it
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
pulled
yeah,
it. Like, dude, like who else does that? That's not like the creativity that Eddie Guerrero brought to the ring inside and
Yeah,
out.
the referee saw that and like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, but who does that now? Nobody. Like, literally,
Yeah.
like, I mean, his in-ring knowledge and like I said, his charisma and everything, dude, like, just it was unavoidable. You couldn't sit here and not be roped into what the hell he did in the ring every single night. You know what I'm saying? They were broadcasting it.
I think that's why he inspired so many people, and that's why his legacy will still to continue to live on. Like, like you said, you got Dom and many other people. Like you've seen do
I
the frog
mean,
splash.
I could see R-Truth or Danhausen maybe pulling something that kind of trick, maybe. But I don't know. Like, it's a weird thing. Like, if people try to emulate what Eddie did, it's like it's not
Yeah.
very natural to us.
It's not original. Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, for sure. But that's it for the Eddie Guerrero tribute show. I want to special thank you to Sir JDM for joining us, and all those in the comments.
And throw one
Thank
more
you
thing
so-
out. One
Yes,
more
yes,
thing
yes.
to throw out. Eddie Guerrero and his fucking trickery. Like, who does that now? Like, that right there, honestly, was the funniest thing I think Eddie Guerrero could have ever done in his career, using props. You know what I'm saying? Like when he went against Kurt Angle, fucking slamming the chair on the ground, throwing it to him, playing dead. I mean, Dom uses it, but it's not as funny when
No,
Dom
it's not.
does it.
Or
That's
when-
funny.
Do it.
Or when there was I can't remember, he used like a weapon, and then he tried to hide it underneath him, and then the referee was like, "What's underneath?" You're like, "No, I have nothing underneath it," and he wouldn't roll
Oh,
over.
it was the title belt.
This is a title
He tried to
belt.
hide the title belt. He was like,
yeah.
no.
I remember
like I
that.
said, but like I said, what wrestlers now use stuff like that? Like nobody. Like I mean, you can't. That's something that really can't be replicated.
No,
because like
no.
you're not going to get the same results how Eddie got it. Like
Yeah.
that is a style that fit Eddie. When it's like lie, cheat, and steal. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no recreating.
No.
That's
No, there's
forever going to
never gonna
be
be.
a wrestling iconic fucking persona.
100%.
Hands down. We will
Yes.
never, ever have another Eddie Guerrero. Never.
That's true. And like even like you said, Dom is trying his best, but he'll never live up to it, unfortunately.
Dude, when he does the little, like he looks retarded, I'm like, dude, stop, please.
It does look a bit cringy. Yes, I agree.
I remember
but yes,
when he does this like timeout or something like he will pray.
timeless
no.
gamers. But yes, thank you for all the panelists for sharing their thoughts on Eddie Guerrero and giving their fondest moments and kind of reliving. Hopefully, you all enjoyed it, listening and kind of just kind of reliving all of that. So, and yes, like I said, very special thanks to Sir JDM for joining us and the rest of the SST crew, Sir Juan, Sir Marky Mark, Sir Joe, Sir
JDM,
Marky Mark.
always in the truck, man, doing his production. Always in the truck.
Sir Marky Mark, where can they lie, cheat, or steal?
Whoa.
Hi guys, you can catch me here at TGS or Saturday Smark Talk or even Otakunos every Saturday. Also on my personal Facebook, Makansoni Berema. Thank you guys for watching our podcast.
Woohoo! Thank you, Sir Marky Mark. Sir JDM, where can they Latino your heat?
In my hydraulic.
in
your lowrider.
your
Okay, what hydraulic? Well, you take that back. His hydraulics in his seat, in the production truck.
So you can catch me on the Timeless Gamer Show, Saturday Smark Talk, and on my Facebook page 123 Go Retro. I've been busy these past weeks, and maybe I'll go back to my I'll get back to the podcasts soon, and I hope to see you there.
Yeah, thank you, Sir JDM. Sir One, where can they frog your splash?
Hey, dog. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Taco Knots. Oh, wait. No, wrong one. My bad. Wrong promotion. Wrong one. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in on this episode with me and the boys, talking about one of the greatest of all time to do it in the ring, with everything he had to offer everybody. Great moments, Eddie Guerrero. But you can catch me with the SST group every first Saturday of the month. You can catch me on the TGS show with the guys as well every second and fourth Saturday of the month.
Yep.
And then occasionally, I'll probably pop in on the Otaku Knots and, either get some knowledge, learn some stuff, throw in my 2 cents about something. And if you guys don't like it, who gives a fuck? I don't care. I'm joking. But then too, just all gaming platforms. You guys find me as the Raiders. My music that I make for SST, TGS, and Otaku Knots is on all streaming platforms as well under the Raiders.
Yeah.
Back to you, Sir RV.
Thank you.
And I want to thank the boss, Paul Heyman, for
yeah. We got to thank the boss, Paul Heyman. Where can they viva your la raza?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is not Paul Heyman. Okay. So I thank you guys for tuning in for Saturday Smark Talk. So you can still catch me in this channel every Saturday, unless life gets in the way already. So I would like to thank the panel that we have here, sharing their knowledge and their fondest memories about Eddie G himself. Okay. Back to you, Sir RV.
Thank you, Sir Joe. I'm Sir RV. Before I'll go off, we have an official statement. Hang on. Can you see? Official statement. I'll read it out from WWE. Official statement. See? It's on my phone. Official statement.
You guys are going to get fined.
In response, official statement from WWE, in response to the trends in the gaming industry as of the 1st of April 2027, WWE will cease production of physical matches and shift to production of AI matches. Marks will be able to watch our full range of AI matches using the power of the imagination. Enjoy them entirely in the virtual sense. See? WWE. There you go.
Are we going to put out our own official statement?
Catch us next time to see the official statement. I'm sorry, thanks for tuning in.
Like all you'll see will be just AI generated of us just talking, doing the podcast, whatever.
as we're sleeping and shit.
As we're sleeping over there in the back.
We just you know what we need to do before we sign out? We just all need to come together and then we can start our own fucking wrestling promotion. How about that? Bam, let's go against each other.
That'd be cool. Yeah. But catch you next time, guys, on SST. August 1st is the next SST. We'll see you then. It'll be the SummerSlam preview because SummerSlam is on the 1st and 2nd of August. So, yeah. Catch you next time. Woo!
Viva la raza!
Hey, Holmes.
Órale,